Every morning at exactly 6:15, the old Route 18 bus left the station. For 12 years, it had never been late. Its driver, Arthur Hale, was known for one thing. He respected the schedule more than anything else. Passengers joked that if they forgot their watches, they only had to wait for Arthur's bus. It always arrived on the second. Then, one Monday morning, something changed. Arthur waited. 10 seconds. 20. 30. The passengers sighed impatiently. A businessman checked his watch. A student complained. An old woman whispered, "Why isn't he moving?" Finally, a little boy came running around the corner. His backpack bounced behind him as he waved desperately. Arthur smiled and opened the door. The boy climbed aboard, completely out of breath. "Thank you," he whispered. The bus drove away. The next morning, Arthur waited again. This time for the same little boy. Again the passengers complained. Again the bus left 30 seconds late. Soon everyone noticed. Every single morning, Arthur waited exactly 30 seconds before leaving the stop. No more. No less. People assumed the boy was his grandson. Others believed the family had complained to the company. Nobody knew the truth. One afternoon, a young woman approached Arthur after everyone had left. "Can I ask you something?" He nodded. "Why do you always wait for that little boy?" Arthur looked through the windshield for a long moment. "My wife died 5 years ago," the woman stayed silent. "When she was a child, she missed her school bus one winter morning. She had to walk 6 miles in heavy snow. She always told me she never forgot how alone she felt that day." Arthur smiled softly. "Before she passed away, she asked me for one promise. If I ever had the chance, never let another child feel left behind." The young woman didn't know what to say. She simply thanked him and stepped off the bus. Months passed. The little boy grew older. Eventually, he no longer needed Arthur to wait. He learned to leave home earlier. The bus returned to its perfect schedule. A year later, Arthur retired. There were no television cameras. No speeches. Just a handshake from his supervisor and a small cardboard box holding the few things from his dashboard. On his final day, as he prepared to leave the depot, dozens of people were waiting outside. Office workers. Teachers. Students. Parents. People whose names Arthur had never known. Among them stood the little boy. Except he wasn't carrying a backpack anymore. He held a small envelope. Inside was a handwritten note. It read, "You were only 30 seconds late. But because of those 30 seconds, I never felt forgotten. Thank you for keeping your promise, even though you never knew mine." Arthur folded the letter carefully and placed it inside his wallet. Years later, after Arthur had passed away, his daughter found that note. It was old. The paper had faded. The corners were worn from being opened hundreds of times. She framed it instead of throwing it away. Not because it was valuable, but because it reminded her of something her father understood better than most people. Sometimes, changing a life doesn't take hours. It doesn't take money. It doesn't even take great sacrifice. Sometimes, it only takes 30 seconds. And someone willing to wait.